before time, before thought, before dreams. There was something so still, so deep, so vast, that even silence hadn't yet been born. No ticking clocks, no stars hanging in the sky, no sky at all, just a breathless nothing. But this nothing wasn't empty, not really. It was full of potential, of warmth yet to be felt, of light yet to be seen, of love yet to be spoken. Somewhere within that formless quiet was a presence, not a figure you could point to, not a shadow or a shape, but a knowing, a being, timeless and still, existing in peace, utter peace, beyond beginnings or ends. This presence, this God, was not lonely, nor bored, nor waiting, but something stirred, a will, a whisper, a desire to create, to express, to share, to speak beauty into being. And so, for the first time ever, a voice was heard. It didn't thunder, it didn't echo, it simply was. Like the way the morning sun appears without announcement, like a smile forming before you know why. And this voice, gentle and whole, said, "Let there be light." And there was. Not just a flash, but a warm breath over the waters, a soft glow that banished the formless dark, a golden hush that carried hope. This is how it all began. Not with war, not with chaos, not with shouting, but with stillness, and love, and light. This is the creation story, one told across countless generations, one whispered beside campfires, sung in temples, painted into ceilings, and etched into the hearts of those who still wonder, where did we come from? Who imagined us into being? And why does the world feel so mysteriously beautiful? Tonight, you'll hear it not as a command, not as doctrine, but as a dream. So rest now. Settle into your sheets. Let the tension fall from your shoulders. Let the thoughts drift from your mind. Let this gentle story unfold like a blanket over your heart. And listen as the world wakes up. Let us take a journey, not forward, but backward. Not just in time, but beyond it. To a place so distant, so impossibly ancient, that it doesn't even feel real. But it is. Close your eyes if you like. You're floating now, drifting through a space with no edges. There is no ground beneath you, no stars above you, not even blackness, just calm. And in this vast, endless calm, there is no fear, no rush, no noise. You are surrounded by possibility. It's as if you're inside a thought, not your own, but something older, something sacred. You're not falling, you're not rising, you're simply held. Imagine a soft hum, like the sound of wind before it becomes a breeze, a vibration so low, so gentle, you can feel it in your chest before you hear it in your ears. That's what this moment feels like. A hush before music, a stillness before a heartbeat. This is the prelude to creation. There are no hours here, no ticking seconds, because time, as we know it, hasn't started yet. And then quietly, so quietly, something stirs. The presence, the one without shape, without beginning, stirs, not in motion, but in will, a will to bring forth something beautiful. Creation is not born of boredom, it is born of joy. Imagine that, a joy so complete, so full, it cannot stay quiet any longer. So it speaks. The voice is unlike anything you've heard. It is not deep or high. It is not male or female. It is all things and no thing. It is music without a song, fire without heat, a name that doesn't need to be said to be known. It speaks into the stillness, and the stillness listens. Let there be light. And from that single sentence, a cascade begins. Light does not burst, it unfolds, like petals opening at dawn, like curtains pulled slowly on the first day of spring. Where there was no edge, now there is glow. Soft at first, a warm shimmer. It dances over invisible waters, revealing what was hidden, not all at once, but with care. The light brings with it the idea of day, a time when we can see, when we can wake, when we can begin. And just as gently, darkness is given shape too. Not banished, not destroyed, but named, called night. And so, with a single phrase, the great divide is drawn. Light and darkness, day and night, this and that, something and its opposite. This is how the rhythm begins. Like a heartbeat, like a breath, light and dark, day and night, awake and asleep. The first day ends not in a bang, but in rest. God sees the light and it is good. Not just good as in useful, but good as in beautiful, as in whole, as in exactly what it was meant to be. And that, the seeing, is part of the creation too. Because to create is one thing. To pause, to admire, to bless it with your attention, that is sacred. And so the first day closes, not with a door slammed shut, but like the end of a lullaby, a quiet, contented sigh. Evening and morning, the first day, and we have only just begun. Day one, let there be light, a dreamlike descent into the very first moment, where silence meets the voice, and light begins its eternal dance with darkness. There was a time before time, a moment before moments, an eternity before eternities. And in that expanse, that sacred hush of not yet, nothing stirred, not a sound, not a flicker, not even a single thought born into form. There were no stars, no planets, no beating hearts, no passing clouds, no memory of anything, because there was nothing to remember. And yet there was presence, a deep, still, sacred presence, not drifting through the void, but being the very awareness of the void itself, a knowing, a waiting, a quiet that wasn't empty but full of promise, like the air right before a raindrop falls, or the soft hush in a theater before the curtain lifts. And in that holy silence, something happened, or rather, something chose to happen, not by accident, not by impulse, but with intention, with purpose. And the first breath of all creation was drawn. You could not hear it, but it moved, through nothing, and into something, a breath from the one who needed no breath, a pulse from the one who was never born and would never die. And then, a voice, the first voice, the true voice, no language as we know it, no syllables born from lips or lungs, but sound, pure and sacred, the sound of love deciding to express itself. And it said, simply, clearly, gently, let there be light. And at once, from no direction and from every direction, light appeared. But not like the light we know now. This was not sunlight, for the sun had not yet been formed. This was not fire, for no flame yet existed. This was not the pale light of stars, because no stars yet hung in the sky. This light was divine. It did not burn. It did not glare. It did not flicker. It simply was. A soft golden hum that spread across the face of the deep. A warmth that didn't come from heat, but from purpose, from being seen, from being known. And it didn't strike the darkness like a sword. It didn't chase it away. Instead, it revealed it. It gave it shape. It defined it. Because without light, there was no difference. Only sameness. Only stillness. But with light suddenly, there was contrast. There was beauty. There was the beginning of story. The light flowed like water. It moved across the face of the deep. Waters not like our oceans, but the primal, formless depths, an endless sea of potential, waiting for form, and the light danced upon it. Imagine it, a horizon that had never existed before, suddenly forming as golden radiance kissed the waves. There was no sound, not yet. But if there had been, you might have heard a gentle sigh, a cosmic exhale, as if even the deep had been holding its breath, waiting to be seen. And for the first time, it was. Creation didn't explode. It unfolded, like a flower warmed by the spring sun, like a sleepy world slowly stretching awake. And that light, it reached into every corner of formless space, not to banish darkness, but to divide it, to separate, to say gently, you are this and you are that. And so the light was called day, and the darkness, still sacred, still needed, was called night. And in that naming, something deeper happened, something holy, because to name a thing is to give it meaning, to call it forth from nothing into being. God could have said, you are light and darkness, and left it there. But instead, he gave them time. He gave them rhythm. He gave them purpose. Day and night, a pair, a breath, an ebb and a flow. One to bring wakefulness and vision, the other to cradle dreams. And then God saw the light, and he did not judge it. He did not critique it. He didn't improve it. He simply looked and said, it is good. Not just good in function, but good in nature. Good in essence. Good in the way that babies smell, or lullabies feel, or warm bread tastes. Good in a way that needs no explanation. Good because it was born of love, and it was seen with love, and it returned love in kind. It was light, and it was good. Now, for the first time in all existence, there was a passage of time, not marked by clocks or calendars, but by change, by rhythm, by evening, and by morning. And so the first day came to an end. Let's pause here for a moment, because there's something beautiful in this. The first full day in all of history began in darkness. It did not start with sunrise. It started with night. Evening came, and then morning. This isn't just poetic structure. It's divine design, because night, darkness, was never meant to be feared. It was meant to be restful, holy, the first sanctuary. And so in the ancient Hebrew way of marking time, the day always begins at dusk, not because darkness wins, but because rest comes first. Sleep comes before work. Stillness comes before movement. Isn't that lovely? The world didn't begin in chaos or war. It began in quiet, in softness, in gold and shadow dancing gently across the waters. Let's imagine it again. You're floating on the face of the deep. The water beneath you is still. The air is heavy with peace. Above you, the light glows. It doesn't blind. It doesn't blaze. It simply glows, like a mother's gaze over a sleeping child. You reach your hand out and you can't quite see it clearly, because there's no sun, no source, just presence. The light is not coming from somewhere. It just is. It's like being bathed in the feeling of being loved, not by one person, but by the universe itself. This was the light of day one, the first expression, the first revelation. It made the invisible visible. It made the formless beautiful. It taught the world to breathe. And then, when it was ready, when the rhythm was perfect, evening settled in. Night was not scary. It was soft, like velvet, like a lullaby. And it fell over the light like a blanket, not to end it, but to rest it, because even light deserves to sleep. And in that sleep, the world continued to turn. The waters rocked gently, the silence deepened, and creation, this tender living thing, waited for what would come next. But for now, this day is done. The first day, the day light was born, the day darkness was honored, the day time began to flow, the day everything began. Sleep now if you wish. Float in the memory of golden light. Let it wrap around your shoulders. Let it calm your breathing. Let it slow your heartbeat, because the first light still exists, somewhere beyond the stars and deep within your soul. It was the first gift, and it's still being given, with every morning, with every candle, with every act of love. So breathe it in. Let it fill you. Let it remind you that you are seen, that you are good, that you are part of this beautiful beginning. And as you drift now into your own night, know that morning will come, because it always does. Evening passed, and morning came. The first day, day two, the sky and the waters, the space between. You're floating again, still nowhere, still nothing beneath your feet, because feet haven't been invented yet. You've passed through one full day, and something is different now. Not louder, not brighter, just less empty. There is light now, there is dark, and the rhythm between them is holding steady. Day, night, and then another voice, not rushed, not shouted, not urgent, just a calm decision, like someone reaching for a second brushstroke on a blank canvas. And the voice says, "Let there be a vault in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." That's it. That's the task for today, to separate water from more water. You might ask, what waters? Where did they come from? And the answer is, they were always here, silent, shapeless, still, waiting. Beneath the light and dark, there had been only one thing, a vast, brooding deep, a body with no bottom, a silence that moved like sleep. Water, but not like rivers or lakes, not blue or clear, just endless swelling mystery. It had no shores, no tide, no name. It wasn't calm, it wasn't stormy, it just was. And now, for the first time, it is asked to make space. The vault is not built like a roof. There is no hammer, no scaffolding, no angels in hard hats yelling measurements back and forth. It's not a dome. It's not a glass ceiling. It's not a solid wall you can lean against. But it is real. And it stretches. Across the deep, through the formless mist, this thing, this vault, pushes outward. It parts the waters. Not harshly, not violently, just gently. The kind of separation you don't notice at first. Like waking up from a dream without realizing you've been dreaming. The waters below settle, pressed downward by something invisible, obedient, still. The waters above, they rise, lifting into their own place. No crashing, no roaring, just a soft rearrangement of things that never had a shape to begin with. Now there is space, for the first time, a place where wind could someday stretch, where clouds might eventually gather, where birds will one day glide and complain about each other's feathers. A place between. Not ground, not sea, just space. The vault is given a name. Not a scientific one, not a poetic one. It is called heaven. Not the heavens, not the final destination, just the space above, the sky. A name not meant to explain, just to hold. And it is evening again, and morning again. Another cycle completed, and God looks upon what has stretched across the waters, what now arches between above and below, and he calls it good. Not flashy, not loud, not even visible really, but good. This is the second day. It ends quietly, as the first did, without drama, without noise, and something else has been given room to exist. So now there is space, not a hallway, not a ceiling, just sky, soft and wide and waiting. No sun passes through it. That hasn't been placed yet. There is no light to warm it, no wind to stir it, no weather to measure it by. But it's there, still and real, a quiet middle. And that middle is where everything else will learn to breathe. It doesn't seem like much. If you were watching, there wouldn't be much to see. No fireworks, no flashes of divine architecture. Just the stilling of things, the lifting of waters, the silent formation of potential. But everything needs a place to happen. Even the extraordinary, especially the sacred. And now, there is a place. The sky exists, though nothing flies through it. Not yet. It has no color. Color hasn't been invented. There are no clouds to chase each other, no sunbeams to catch dust, no echo, no sound. But still, it holds. Like an open hand, it waits for what is coming next. Below it, the waters remain. Heavy, slow, shifting without shape. The kind of water that forgets it can move, that doesn't know it can ripple, that has never known the rhythm of tide. The vault does not crush the water beneath. It does not sit heavy upon it. It simply separates, and both sides obey, not out of fear, but because at last there is a command. Now the silence stretches, different than before, less empty, more patient. The sky has changed the silence. It has given it a place to echo, to expand, to soften. And God watches, not because he doubts, but because creation is worth noticing. Even the quiet parts, especially the quiet parts. There is no creature to look up yet, no eyes to admire the expanse, no voice to point upward and say, there. But still, there it is, the sky. Unnamed by stars, undrawn by birds, undreamed by poets. Just sky, waiting. It is a strange sort of achievement, a day spent making room, not filling it, not decorating it, just carving out emptiness and calling it good. Perhaps this is the hardest kind of creation, to separate without destroying, to lift without losing, to hold apart what once swirled as one. God does not need to explain, he does not show his work, but the firmament stands, invisible, enduring, and above it, the waters keep their place. Whatever they are, wherever they go, they stay. This new space, this heaven, is not the final home, not a throne, not a finish line. It's the air between moments, the breath between words. It will someday carry rain, and song, and laughter, and thunder. But today, it carries nothing. And that is enough. Evening comes again, still without sunset, still without time. But the rhythm is now stronger. Day, then night, night, then day. A second beat in the measure. Another soft tick in a clock made from contrast. If you're still with us, here in the pause between waters, you might not feel like much has changed, but something very important has. Before, there was only motionless depth. Now, there is space, a ceiling, a future sky, where birds will someday soar, where clouds will stretch like arms waking from sleep, where stars will blink down over fields not yet grown. The sky has no story yet, but is ready to hold one. And perhaps that's the quiet gift of this day. Not what was built, but what was made possible. Now the work pauses, not because it is finished, but because it has reached its boundary. This day was not about building something to touch, but something to stretch across. And the vault, this quiet sky, this vast and waiting space, holds its shape without sound, without effort, without needing to be explained. It simply is. Creation, on this second day, was not loud, not dramatic, not meant to dazzle. It was meant to divide, to hold things apart so that something new could begin between them. a kind of sacred separation, a breath between waters, a space to dream in. And so evening comes again. There is no sun to set, no shadows to stretch across hills, no rustling of leaves or flickering lanterns. But still, there is evening, a soft change in rhythm, a quiet deepening of the stillness, and morning will follow, just as it did before, not because it must, but because now it can. God looks again at what has been made, at the space between above and below, at the invisible structure holding potential in its hands, and once again, he sees that it is good, not because it dazzles, not because it impresses, but because it is true, and in being true, it is ready. There will be days ahead when the sky carries weight, when it pours, when it cracks with thunder, when it burns golden at the edges of the earth. But not today. Today it simply holds and waits. And that is holy work too. So the second day passes. Light, then dark. Sky above, waters below, a space prepared, not filled, not finished, but prepared. And that is enough for today. If your breath has slowed, if your eyes are heavy, you followed along perfectly. No need to rush ahead. No need to imagine what comes next. That will arrive soon enough. When the land rises, and green things grow, and birds someday trace their paths across the very sky you now lie beneath. But for now, rest. Let the space above you remain open. Let the deep below stay quiet. Let the night do what it was created to do. Hold you in stillness until morning stirs again. And let this day, with all its soft unfolding, fade gently into the rhythm it helped create. This was the second day, and it was good. Day 3, the land and the seed, where the ground first breathed. The sky is in place now, soft, silent, endless. It hovers above the deep like a quiet promise. The waters still below are heavy, patient, vast. Light still alternates with dark. Day, night, day, night. But there is still nowhere to stand, nowhere to place a foot, or plant a seed, or settle a name. And then, the voice returns, still calm, still steady, still creating without effort. Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. The command moves like a ripple beneath the silence, not loud, not fast, but certain. And the waters hear it. For the second time, they are asked to make space, and they do. Slowly, obediently, they draw back. Not all the way, just enough. Enough to reveal what they've been covering. From beneath their weight, something rises. Not with a shout, not with violence, not even with sound. Just a slow, steady push upward, the shape of ground making itself known. Earth, dry, quiet, firm. The waters settle back into seas gathered low and wide, not banished but placed, still powerful, still present, but no longer everywhere. And now there is contrast again, as with light and darkness, as with the sky above and the waters below. Now there is dry, and there is wet, earth and sea. The dry land is given its name, earth, simple, not poetic, just true. And the waters drawn together, those are called seas, not oceans, not rivers, not yet, just seas wide, waiting, still learning how to wave. And God sees that it is good, because now, for the first time, something exists that can hold life. Not life itself, not yet, but the ground it will stand on. The place where things can take root, grow, rise, fall, begin again. And God is not finished, because land without life is just surface, and this land is meant for more. He speaks again. Let the earth put forth vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees bearing fruit in which is their seed, each according to its kind. And the earth listens, as the sky did, as the waters did. The ground stirs, not with animals, not with footsteps, but with a whisper of green. The ground begins to breathe, not like a creature, but like a memory returning. It has never held life before, but now it remembers how. At first, nothing moves, just a change in scent, in texture, in expectation. Then color, not bright, not loud, just a subtle unfolding. A green that wasn't there before. Thin at first, shy, like mist clinging to the skin of the earth. It begins in the low places. Tiny stalks push upward through the dust, not pushing with force, but with purpose. No eyes watch them. No animals graze. No birds sing overhead. Still, they grow. Then, from the hills, shrubs begin to form. Soft outlines at first, then texture, then leaf. Each one exactly as it was meant to be. Not random, not confused. Each plant with a pattern. Each seed with a memory. Each root knowing which way to turn in a world that has never held roots before. Grasses spread like whispers across the land, weaving through soil that has never known softness. They do not ask for permission. They were told to come, and they obey. Soon trees begin to appear, not towering giants, not yet, but trees all the same. Their trunks thin, then thickening. Their leaves catching a breeze that doesn't exist yet, and fruit, because the command was clear. Fruit trees bearing fruit in which is their seed. Not fruit for show, not fruit for waste, but fruit to carry the next step. Each seed is a plan, a future, a quiet promise that what grows today can grow again. There are no gardeners, no footprints, no shadows moving through the fields, just the land learning how to live. And it does, perfectly, effortlessly, softly. There are no flowers yet, not by name, not with color, not with fragrance, but beauty is there, taking root just beneath the surface. This is the first garden, not Eden, not yet, but something simpler, older. A place where green things wake up and know what they were made for. A world where no one watches them bloom, but they bloom anyway. And God sees it, all of it. The seeds, the soft stretch of vines, the tiny leaves trembling in air that still doesn't move. And He calls it good, because this is not just growth. It is order. It is design. It is the beginning of nourishment. And someday that will matter very much. Now the earth is no longer just earth. It holds life, quiet green reaching life. It holds patterns, grains that lean toward the light, seeds hidden beneath the surface, roots curling downward with no map but certainty. No sun warms them yet. No bees carry pollen. No footsteps rustle the leaves. But still, everything knows what to do, and it is doing it. Each blade of grass, simple, still, perfect, not needing to be seen, not needing to prove itself. It grows because it was told to, and in that, it finds peace. The trees are taller now. They rise carefully, branches spreading like arms, learning balance in the emptiness. Their leaves unfurl slowly, not because they are lazy, but because there is no need to rush. Time, like the trees, is just beginning to stretch. There are no flowers yet, not today, but the idea of them is planted, not just in soil, but in possibility. Petals will come later, color too, and fragrance, and softness. But right now, this is a day for roots. A day for learning to grow without attention, without praise, without an audience, to rise for the sake of rising, to bloom for the sake of the world, even if the world hasn't opened its eyes yet, and the soil accepts it all. The wriggling of roots, the gentle pressure of stems, the slow drip of dew that hasn't fallen yet. It does not complain. It does not push back. It holds. The first home for life is not a building. It is not made of stone or metal. It is soil, software dark, ready. By now, the earth is different. It has been shaped. It has grown. And it has done so without noise, without storm, without spotlight. Creation has not shouted. It has whispered. And that is enough. Evening comes again. Not dramatically, not like a curtain falling on a stage, but slowly, a soft darkening, a deepening of quiet. The plants do not panic. They do not hide. They simply continue to grow into the darkness. They understand that light will return, even though the sun still has not arrived, because the pattern has begun. Day, then night, night, then day, and it is trustworthy. Somewhere above, the sky remains unchanged, still stretched, still open, still holding space, and below, the waters are calm, tucked back into their places, lapping softly against invisible shores. They've been moved twice now, first to make room for the sky, then to make room for the land. But they are not diminished. They are still here. And they too are good. And God watches. This day has been different. Not light, not space, but substance. Earth and everything it holds. The beginning of every harvest. The idea of food, of fruit, of beauty, without anyone yet to admire it. There are no humans, no hands digging into the soil, no mouths to taste the figs, no eyes to gaze at green valleys or sun-dappled meadows. But creation does not wait for witnesses. It arrives when it is time. And this is the third time, the third turning, the third ending, and the third beginning. God does not rush ahead. He does not finish the week early. He does not skip forward to the dramatic parts. He simply speaks, watches, and calls it what it is. Good. Not loud, not dazzling. Just good. The kind of good that lasts. The kind that needs no introduction, no applause. It grows, it nourishes, it prepares, and it rests. This is not a harvest day. That will come later. This is not Eden. That will be planted soon. But tonight, the ground is no longer bare. It holds something. It holds life, and that matters. The trees breathe into the evening. The grasses bow. The roots curl deeper into their homes. And you are here in the middle of it, drifting gently into the quiet that now grows, just as much as the grass. There is nothing to chase, nowhere to go. This was a day of becoming, of unfolding. The work is done, and so the third day ends, and it is good. Day 4. The lights in the sky, the first calendar. The earth is quiet, still turning, still holding, covered in green, separated from sea, wrapped beneath a sky that holds its shape. Light still comes and goes, day, then night. A rhythm forming, but it is a rhythm with no hands, no markers, no beginning, no real end. Light glows, then fades. Darkness stretches, then retreats. But where it comes from, no one knows, not even the light itself. And then the voice returns. Not louder, not faster, but clearer, almost sharper. As if this next act requires edges, coordinates, direction, and the voice says, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens, to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, for days and years." Time has existed, but it hasn't been seen, not truly. There has been rhythm, yes, the coming and going of light and dark, but no language for it. No measurement, no form. Now, light will be more than presence. It will be orientation, not just glow, but guidance, a quiet structure in the sky, something for the world to breathe beneath. The heavens stretch. The vault from day 2, still holding steady, now becomes a canvas, and into that canvas, the first lamp is placed, a great light, large, warm, certain, still unspoken by name, but you would know it if you saw it. Its light does not just arrive, it travels, it falls, it rests upon the land, it wakes the fields, it pierces the edge of mountains not yet formed. This is the greater light. It will rule the day. It does not demand. It invites. It lifts the fog of shadow. It drapes the world in gold. It shows the shape of everything. It casts shape on the ground. Shadow, contrast, depth. Things begin to have direction, up and down, left and right, east and west. The land learns to lean. The trees turn their faces. The seeds sense warmth beneath the soil. Light, once ambient, now comes with a source. The day is no longer just brightness. It now has a center. It has authority. Then another light is placed, smaller, cooler, gentler, but not lesser, just different. It will not blaze. It will not rise with command. It will drift, pull, glow. It will whisper across the night like a breath over sleeping waters. This is the lesser light. It will rule the night. The sky, once only a vault and veil, begins to reflect, to shimmer. The moon does not shout. It does not rush. It simply holds space for the quiet. And that, too, is light. It is not alone. Alongside it, scattered carefully, deliberately, as if pinched into place by quiet fingers, come the stars. So many, too many to count, but not too many to name. Each with a place, each with a distance, each with a voice, though no sound. Their light is old, but it arrives now. They do not compete. They do not move too quickly. They blink in rhythm with the breath of space. Together, these lights do more than glow. They instruct, they show time, they tell stories, they guide the wandering, they warn, they celebrate. They are signs, seasons, days, years, and soon there will be those who read them. But for now, they simply shine. No language, no ink, just patterns, just presence. The sun carves morning out of night. The moon waits patiently for her turn. The stars blink, not for attention, but because blinking is what they do. The sky is no longer just sky. It is now a clock, a map, a calendar, a memory written in light. And time, which had been silent, now has a voice. And God sees what he has done. The light is no longer wandering. It knows where to go. It knows what to do. It knows when to rest. And the darkness, which once stretched without borders, now knows its boundaries. Still vast, still powerful, but now held in rhythm. And he calls it good. Good because it offers clarity. Good because it sets the stage. Good because it allows the world to keep time, without knowing it yet. The sun continues to move. It does not race. It does not burn too hot. It simply warms, casts shadow, draws out color. The earth begins to wear mourning like a soft garment. Gold across the hills, amber at the edge of leaf and stone, shadows that grow and shrink. The trees do not speak, but they stretch, and somewhere inside their bark, they begin to understand what it means to grow towards something. The moon appears quietly as day softens into dusk. It does not shine for itself. It reflects. It waits. It lingers where silence gathers. It will keep watch, not because it must, but because it can. And stars, they continue to appear, first in twos, then clusters, then too many to count, each steady, each burning without need for approval. Their arrival feels like a memory, like something ancient returning home. And now the days will no longer blend. There will be seasons. Rain will come, snow will fall, winds will rise. But those are not for today. Today is for the instruments. The sky is tuned, the metronome is set, and even though no one hears it yet, the music has begun. It is evening again, a true evening, measured not by silence, but by sky. The sun bows down, drawing the last line of light across the water. The moon steps forward, and the stars nod in agreement. Time is no longer a mystery. It is written, glowing, above everything. And that light, it does not sleep. It waits, it watches, and morning follows, as it always does now. There is no suspense, only assurance. And so, the fourth day ends, with structure, with symmetry, with light placed in its proper seat, and night given its own beauty, and both called good. You may feel it even now, that soft pull behind your ribs, the sense that something above you knows the time, even if you don't, that the stars are still there, even when the clouds cover them, that the sky remembers, and that is enough. You were never meant to hold it all in your hands, just to look up and rest, because the sun will rise, and the moon will keep watch, and the stars will blink as they always have, since the fourth day, when light was given a home, and time began to whisper, and God said, "It is good." Day 5, the living waters and the winged sky, the first breath. The world is quiet, but no longer still, not completely. The light moves with rhythm now. The sky is drawn wide and steady. The seas stay in their place. The land wears green like a robe. And overhead, the great lights continue their measured dance. Sunday, moon, stars, everything is prepared, ready. But there is something missing. Something the land cannot grow. Something the waters cannot divide. Something the sky cannot hold in place. Movement, breath, life. And the voice comes again, clear, gentle, like a breeze turning into something deeper. Let the waters bring forth swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the heavens. Not just existence, but abundance. Not just a few, but swarms. The waters are no longer silent. They stir first in the shallows. A ripple, a flick, a pulse. The smallest shapes begin to swim. Too small to name, too soft to notice. But they are alive. They twist, they dart, they breathe. Then more. Not one creature, but hundreds, thousands, all different, all moving as if they had always known how. Fins shimmer beneath the surface. Tails curl and snap. Eyes open wide to a world they didn't exist in yesterday. Some glide smoothly. Some tumble clumsily. Some rise, then vanish. Some wait, anchored by shell and patience. And the waters, which once only held silence, now hold entire cities of motion. The sea has become alive, and it does not grow quietly. It sings, in bubbles, in waves, in silence that moves, in stillness that breathes. This is not chaos, this is music. Each creature with its own note, each movement timed by instinct, by joy, by design. Some hide, some chase, some float like forgotten thoughts, some gleam like moving jewels. And deep below, farther than light can reach, creatures begin to glow, not to be seen, but because glowing is what they do. And it is good. Not only are they made, they are already flourishing. Some hunt, some herd, some slip through coral reefs without a sound. There are no predators yet, no fear, just form, movement and pulse. Shoals swim in silver ribbons. Tendrils dance in deep current, and the whales, massive, quiet, gentle, begin to hum. The oceans remember the command, and the creatures obey it, not with words, but with swimming. There is no script, but there is choreography. From the tide pools to the trenches, the seas are full, and they are very, very alive. Then, above, a shadow drifts across the sky, the first wing, not large, not fierce, but certain. It catches air not yet stirred by a storm. It rises with grace no one taught it. It folds, tucks, opens again. Then another, then more. Feathers where there was once only wind. Color where there was once only blue. Birds, dozens, then hundreds, dipping and wheeling, gliding and calling out into a sky that answers back with open space. They do not need nests, not yet. They do not need trees. They have a sky, and that is enough. Wings beat like heartbeat. Air carries more than weather now. It carries will. Some birds dive, some hover, some coast for miles without a single flap. Their feathers flash sunlight. Their songs test the new acoustics of the open sky. They do not sing to be heard. They sing because they are. Creation begins to echo itself, movement responding to movement, wings chasing wind, fish weaving currents. The world is waking up. Noiseless currents ripple beneath the sea. Wings trace lines overhead. Nothing crashes, nothing breaks, only flight and flow and purpose. They ride invisible pathways. One glides for miles, turning lazy spirals across empty air. Another hovers, wings buzzing like prayer. There are birds that move in silence, and birds that sing before they know why. Some flash gold, some wear speckled coats, some look like fire with feathers, and none of them ask to be admired. They simply fly, and the sky, once a vast and waiting thing, is finally filled. And then, the first blessing. God speaks again. Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the waters in the seas and let birds multiply on the earth. Not just creation, but permission. A divine invitation to continue, to grow, to spread, to dance farther than this single day. This is not just design, it is destiny, and the creatures hear it. The fish do not hesitate. They lay their eggs. They hide them beneath coral and stone. They send them into drifting tides. The birds follow the sun. They explore the sky's edges. They turn circles where there are no roads. Nothing tells them where to go, but they go, and it is very good. The seas stretch with fin and flash. The sky curls with feathers. Air and water full of motion and memory and movement. Somewhere in the high air, a lone bird circles in silence, not looking for food, not searching for rest, just flying. Below, in coral thickets, a single crab carries its future on its back. In the deep, a whale sings. No one listens, but he sings anyway. Evening comes again, not as a silence, but as a settling. The birds fold their wings. The fish rest in deeper water. The stars blink awake, and their light drapes gently over wings and waves. This day ends with motion, with breath, with eyes that close, not because they must, but because they can. And God sees all he has made, and he calls it good, very good. The world, once still, is now alive, and it has only just begun. Day 6, the beasts of the earth and the making of man, the crown and the clay. The world is no longer still. It breathes, it stirs, it listens. The sky holds its birds. The sea swells with life. The trees stretch. The stars spin their quiet rhythm. But the land is waiting. It has worn its robe of green for days. It has felt water run through its rivers. It has felt the warmth of light and the cool hush of moonlight. It has watched the sky fill and the sea dance. Now, it waits for something of its own, something to move across its hills, to press its weight into the soil, to echo through the forests and leave breath in the valleys. And the voice comes again. Let the earth bring forth living creatures according to their kinds, livestock and creeping things and beasts of the earth, each according to its kind. And it is so. The land shudders, a pulse beneath stone, a hum beneath mountain roots. And then movement. First a paw, then another. A shadow steps from the forest. It is not loud, but it is seen. A great shape, muscle beneath fur, eyes bright and steady. It moves with confidence, as though the earth has waited just for it. And behind it, others. Some tall, some small. Some that crawl, some that leap. Hooves strike the stones. Claws tap the ground. Wings beat low between tree trunks. The land, once dressed in green silence, is now alive with footfall. They do not speak, but they know. They know where to walk, where to hide, where to sleep. A fox curls into a hollow tree. A lion drinks from a pool. An elephant tests the air with its trunk. No names have been given, but each has a place, each has a shape, each has a purpose. They are not decorations, they are not noise, they are part of the land, of its muscle, of its memory. From the grasshopper to the ox, each moves according to a rhythm deeper than sound, and the earth, finally, has companions. And God sees that it is good, but he is not done. There is something else, something not born of paw or hoof, something not meant to nest or herd or perch in trees, something meant to walk upright, to wonder, to shape, to name, something that will not just dwell in creation, but carry its image, someone. The land quiets again, the beasts watch, the birds still their wings. The sea pauses. Something different is happening. God bends low, not with tools, not with sound, but with hands. He reaches down, to dust, to soil, to the ground that has waited for this touch. And from the earth, he begins to shape. Not a tree, not a bird, not a beast, but a body. Shoulders, arms, legs, ribs, a brow, fingers, lips, the form of a man, but it is not alive, not yet, until God breathes, not with wind, but with spirit, into the nostrils, into the clay, and the dust becomes breath, and the breath becomes soul, and the soul becomes man. Eyes open, and for the first time, a human sees, not through instinct, not through command, but through being. He does not cry out. He does not crawl. He stands, and creation shifts, because now a being walks the earth who bears the breath of God. The man is not dropped into chaos. He is placed, set gently into a garden, not just a patch of trees, not wilderness, but a prepared place, curated, planted, framed by rivers and rich soil. It is called Eden. It is not wild. It is not tame. It is exactly as it should be. There are trees of every kind, some for fruit, some for beauty, some simply for the joy of shade. There are rivers that split into 4 directions, carrying water and promise into unseen places. The man walks. He touches the leaves and bark. He drinks from a stream. He watches deer pass without fear. He is not afraid. He is not confused. He is home. And God gives him purpose. Work it, keep it. The garden is not just a gift, it is a responsibility. He is not a guest, he is a steward. And he names the animals, one by one. He sees them, he speaks with a sound, and that sound becomes identity. He does not rule them with fear, he recognizes them. He smiles at the mischief in the monkey. He pauses at the grace of the deer. He laughs at the oddness of the ostrich. But as he names them all, he realizes something. They are many, but none are him. None walk upright, none think as he does, none return his gaze with the same spark. He is not alone, but he is lonely. And God sees it, and God says, "It is not good that man should be alone." And so, again, God reaches down, not to the dust this time, but to the man. He causes sleep, deep, safe, still. And from the man's side, he takes a rib, and from that rib, he creates a woman, not an echo, not a copy, but a partner, formed not from soil, but from flesh, bone of his bone, flesh of his flesh. And when the man awakes, he sees her, and he does not name her with power. He names her with joy. He says, "At last." And the garden, already full, is now complete. The day is long, not in time, but in weight. Creation is full, land, sea, sky, all teeming. But this day, this sixth day, carries a new kind of gravity, because something has shifted. God looks upon the man and woman, and speaks not just to them, but with them. "Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." Dominion, not destruction, not domination, but stewardship. They are not crowned with crowns. They are crowned with care, not lords of the land, but its keepers. The animals do not bow, but they walk alongside. The trees do not tremble, but they offer shade. The land does not fear the human. It breathes with him. And for the first time, the world is in conversation. Man and woman, breath and clay speak back. They marvel, they walk, they eat, they rest. They do not build, they do not conquer. They live, and creation watches, not as something ruled, but as something shared. And God sees all he has made. And this time, he does not say it is good. He says it is very good. Evening falls. A slow dusk. Long shadows across green fields. Birdsong fading to hush. The moon steps in. The stars arrive early. The rivers reflect them. And the man, hand in hand with the woman, leans against a tree that has no name. He is not thinking of tomorrow, because today has been enough. And the sixth day ends not with fireworks, but with quiet. A world at rest, a garden alive, a sky that breathes, and two souls just beginning. Tomorrow will bring a silence, a Sabbath, a stillness deeper than sleep. But tonight is the first night where man and woman fall asleep on earth. And the earth, for the first time, keeps watch. And it is very good. Day 7. The first rest, when silence was sacred. The world does not end with a bang. It does not conclude with a crown. It does not close with applause. It stops, softly, gently, on purpose. And that too is part of creation. The seventh day arrives, not announced, not declared, just felt. A hush settles over everything. Birds still sing, but slower. Winds still move, but gentler. The sun rises without a rush. The rivers flow without hurry. Even the leaves seem to sway with longer breaths. Nothing new is made. No new command is spoken. And yet, it is not empty. It is full, because God himself rests. Not because he is tired, not because he cannot continue, but because the work is finished. And it is good, very good. So he stops. And by stopping, he gives the world a gift it doesn't know it needs. Time to be, time to breathe, time to remember. The man and woman wake to this stillness. They do not plant, they do not harvest, they do not name or tend. They simply exist, together, under trees, beside rivers, beneath stars that do not demand anything. They walk without assignment. They laugh without reason. They sit, they nap, they listen. And creation, even in stillness, responds. Not all glory comes in thunder. Some come in quietly. This is that kind of glory. Even the air seems to shimmer with peace. Bees move lazily between flowers. The distant rustle of branches sways to a rhythm older than music. The soil is rich, but no one digs. The fruit is ripe, but no one is in a hurry. Today, there is no need to hurry. No list, no task, no time. Only now. And God blesses the seventh day. He makes it holy. Not because of what is done on it, but because of what is not. This is the pause between breaths, the closing note of the first great song. Not the end of creation, but its first moment of peace. A full day of presence, of harmony, of trust. And the sun, as it sets again, paints everything in gold. Not because it must, but because it can. And the stars appear, not to mark time, but to simply shine. And all is still, and all is good, and all is whole. They lie in the tall grass. They say nothing, because there is nothing they must say. The sound of water nearby, a soft chorus of insects, the occasional rustle of animal footsteps. No urgency, no shadow, no fear. The seventh day is not for fixing, not for building, not for striving. It is for delight, for presence, for noticing. Even the trees seem to sigh. The lion stretches and sleeps in sunlight. The eagle drifts lazily overhead. Even the ants march a little slower. Everything alive remembers. This is the day when doing is replaced by being. And no one complains. There is no shortage, no shame, no separation. All is together, and all is as it should be. Later, as twilight spills into every corner, they sit by a fire they did not light, and eat fruit from a tree whose roots run deep. Their hands are not stained with labor. Their backs are not sore. Their minds are not anxious. They smile, not for any one reason, but because there are no reasons not to. This is not idleness. This is sacred. God saw everything he made and called it very good. So he stopped, and they stopped too. Not because the world ended, but because it began. And in that beginning, rest was written in. Not as an afterthought, but as the exhale that makes the breath complete. This is the first holy silence, and it is enough. Evening deepens, the animals settle, the breeze cools, and the man reaches for her hand, not because he must, but because he wants to. Their eyes look up. The sky has never seemed closer. Every star has a promise. Every whisper of wind a lullaby. They say no words, because rest speaks louder, and the earth keeps breathing. Slower now, gentler, as if God himself were tucking in his creation. A garden under moonlight. Two souls in harmony. No burdens, no blame, no barriers. Just peace. This day will return again and again. A rhythm stitched into time. But this was the first, and the evening and the morning were the seventh day. And there was peace, and it was very good.